is that if a person understood what it requires to do certain things, you'll see where he stands and where he wants to be, and he'll see how much of a gap there is. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to shoot for the moon, but you should also be realistic with yourself and know where you stand. Know where you stand. And this has a lot to do with when it comes to Judaism, when it comes to the Torah. And the reason why I say that is because for whatever reason or another, one of the greatest tricks that the Satan has ever implemented on mankind is still working despite our knowledge that it's a trick. What's the trick? He's tricking us that he doesn't exist. That's what he's been tricking us for years. Now all of us read about him every year. If you read the Chumash, you hear stories about Judaism and Torah. You hear Satan, Malach HaMavet, Yetzirah. Even if you don't hear about the names, you see people die. Obviously, they don't just go and decide to go somewhere else by themselves. There's an angel that takes their neshama. So everybody gets to meet the Malach HaMavet in one way or another in their life. You decide that you're going to do good things, but then you decide to do bad things. Against your own wishes, against your own desires, normally, you lose your mind. You end up cheating, you end up lying, you end up doing something bad. You realize it's an evil inclination that enticed you to do something that's against your own nature. So, obviously, the Satan has something to do with it. He enticed you, he showed you that billboard to go to that place, and you ended up following it. Even though it's not your nature to typically do that. So that's the Yetzirah. Malach HaMavet, obviously everybody at some point, as the older you get, the more people that die. And that's just the reality of life. When you're 15, 17, 18, 20 years old, you feel strong, you feel like powerful, you feel like you're going to live forever, you're always going to be strong forever. That's why you're so arrogant, that's why you're so bold on everything. And then as you start getting older, you go into your 30s, you go into your 40s, little by little, life humbles you. Why? Because you start seeing that you're not all that. You're not all that. Your body doesn't function the same way. Your muscles are not as tense. Your knowledge is not as great as you thought it was, and so on and so forth. And some of life's decisions that you made, and some of the silly ones that you've made, have cost you dearly. The point being is that life in itself shows you that this Satan, this Malach HaMavet, this Yetzirah, whatever you want to call him, it has an effect on you. Now, but yet, despite our knowledge that he exists, he continues to fool us, and we forget about him. Over and over again. Over and over again, the Satan makes us forget about him. Over and over again, we think we're going to overcome him. Over and over again, we think we're going to do better. And this has everything to do with the Torah. Why? Because when it comes to a doctor giving you advice, says, listen, I think you should wear a mask. I think you should take a vaccine. I think you shouldn't wear a mask. I think you shouldn't take a vaccine. Whatever doctor's in front of you, that's who you respect. Doctor says, I think you need a surgery. Oh, wow, doc, thanks for telling me. You thank the guy that he's going to chop you up to pieces. You don't question a thing. 9 out of 10 people don't even go for a second opinion. Why? They trust the doctor because he has a bunch of plaques on the wall. No one necessarily verifies them. They may even be fake, but who knows? Point is, he has plaques on the wall. He has an outfit like every other doctor. He looks like he knows what he's doing. You listen to him. Lawyer tells you, listen, sir, listen, ma'am, it's going to cost you $25,000 to defend this case. You don't question him for a second, like, oh, wow, it's so expensive. I didn't know. No, nothing. Okay, do you take checks? Never question a fee, never nothing. Why? You're in trouble. He's supposedly the expert. And you say, okay, who do I make the check payable to? Who do I make the check payable to? You never question their fees. You never say, can you guarantee that I'm going to win? Are you sure I'm going to win? No. And even if they say, listen, I can't guarantee that I'm going to win, it still doesn't stop you from paying them the $25,000 retainer. And even if they tell you, listen, this is just a retainer, and there's no promise that this is going to be the end, it may be $250,000. No one ever questions them. Why? He's the lawyer. He's the doctor. The architect tells you, listen, sir, it's a really nice house, but I think you need to rebuild the foundation. Oh, okay. How much do I have to pay you? No one questions the guy. No one questions them. No one says, listen, you know what? I'm gonna bet on it. I'm just going to continue living in this house, and if it falls, okay, let me fall inside with it. No one does that. Why? We trust the professionals. We trust the experts. Why? He's been doing it for 5 years. He went to school for 10 years. He has a silly garment on that makes me think that he's good at what he does. He has a business card that looks pretty fancy. Probably cost him at least $1 a card. We have all types of things that we're so, enamored by. We don't question the professionals. And it's a professional of every kind. Of every kind. You go to the store. You tell the guy, listen, I want something to eat. The guy says, okay, what do you want to eat? He says, no, you know what? I trust you so much. Give me the best thing you have. Like, you automatically trust that he knows your taste buds. And you tell him, listen, make me the best thing you have. Like, as if the best thing he has, in his opinion, is the same thing you think the best thing is you have. You trust his opinion. Why? Because he's a chef. Because he cooks a bunch of food, so somehow he miraculously inherited your taste buds. But we don't question it. We don't question it. If we don't like it, we say, wow, you know what? I think it's because I drank a beer, and that's why it doesn't taste good. You never blame the chef. What? He's the professional. It's a fancy schmancy restaurant. $150 plate with 2 little olives on it. We're fine. No problem. I was going to have a burger after I leave here because I'm really hungry. But nonetheless, we trust it. Why? It's expensive. It's fancy. It's schmancy. All that good stuff. They're the experts. We trust them. Satan does not get involved at all. At all. You want to trust the lawyer, the doctor, the chef, the mailman, whoever it is, trust them. The Satan doesn't tell you, listen, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't trust this lawyer. You know what? Maybe you shouldn't trust this doctor. I don't know. I don't like this doctor. Never. Never. He tells you something. Satan says, Kadosh. You say, Amen. Why? Has no impact whatsoever on your eternity. No impact whatsoever on your eternity. But when the rabbis come, and they tell you what the Chazon Ish has been telling us, what the Rambam has been telling us, what Moshe Rabbeinu has been telling us for 3,300 years, and he tells you, if you continue violating Shabbat, not only will you end up going to Gehenom for eternity and suffer more pain in 1 second than the entire 6 million people that died, the entire 6 million Jews that got murdered in the Holocaust suffered for all the years that they were there. You'll suffer more in 1 minute than Gehenom if you continue violating Shabbat. I mean, not only that, you'll suffer in this world too. You'll have a miserable life. Most likely your marriage is not going to be happy. Your kids are going to be terrible. Your whole life is going to be upside down. Why? Because all of the bracha that you have the whole week starts with what you do on Shabbat. You don't want to keep Shabbat? Okay, prepare for a miserable life. Yeah, but Rabbi, I know a lot of guys, that are rich and powerful, and they have this and they have that. They don't keep Shabbat. Wait, hold on a second. How come you're so bold with your question and your assumptions that first and foremost, you're even asking me? I'm the professional. No, I read the books. You didn't read the books. What makes you think that you know better than me? That's question number 1. Number 2, when did you become a private investigator / prophet to know how happy he really is with all of his billions? Do you know what happens behind closed doors? What, just because he shows up on television with a fancy car in the background that may as well be a hologram, you think he's happy? What makes you think that's right? What makes you think that his wife really wants to be his wife? What makes you think that his kids that are happy in the picture are as happy after the picture? What makes you think that his smile is real? What makes you think all of this stuff? Why? Just because you see him on TV, and if it's on TV, if it's on a screen, it must be true. How come you're so confident questioning the rabbis here, but you're not even going to question the lawyer, the doctor, the chef, the clerk, anybody else? You know why? Because the Satan has fooled you too. He fooled you so much when he didn't show up to the lawyer's meeting. He didn't show up to the doctor meeting. He didn't show up to any meeting that you have in your life. He only showed up to the meeting you had with the rabbi. And there he says, know what? That rabbi, I think he has an agenda. That rabbi, he's telling you why. He's telling you that you should change your life. Why, you should keep Shabbat. You should leave your boyfriend. You should stop stealing from customers. No, come on, this rabbi, if he was getting the money from you, he probably wouldn't mind you stealing. Nah, if he had your wife, he probably wouldn't care that she's not Jewish. Come on, if he had so much fun as much as you do on Shabbat, he probably violates Shabbat too. He starts putting all types of junk in your head to make you think otherwise. All of a sudden he says, you know what, listen, these rabbis, all of them have a different opinion. And you know what, let's just go find a different rabbi. Let's go, rabbi shopping. Like, there's a Macy's for clothes and there's a JCPenney for, let's go find, rabbi shopping. We'll go to Hollywood Boulevard. We'll find, maybe a rabbi or two for you. You know what? If you really like them, we'll buy you 3. And that's what happens. This entire generation, unfortunately, has victims after victims of not only their own mistakes, of rabbi shopping, of people that simply fell for the trap of the Satan and didn't realize that he exists and he's the one that's giving them the questions in their head, but unfortunately an entire generation of rabbis that have fell for the same trap to tell them that they know better than HaKadosh Baruch Hu. By them telling people, listen, no matter what you do, you're okay, Hashem loves you, no matter what, Hashem cares about you. You know, the Gemara in Masechet Kiddushin says that, Am Yisrael, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to you, whether you're good or you're bad, ben kach or ben kach, you're still my children, and they'll completely distort that Gemara to tell you that no matter what you do, you can be a sinner, you can be Rasha, it's okay.
Hi, my name is Anna. I'm from Southern California and I'm studying chemistry. I grew up secular, so my question is, what does it mean to be a bad Jew? Are people who are more observant better than people who are less observant? And is it possible to lose your Jewish identity, specifically in the eyes of God and as it pertains to the afterlife? Thank you.
I'm going to be honest with you, Anna. It's hard for me to answer this question without crying. I know that sounds a little bit silly, maybe a little bit immature. It's hard for me to answer without crying. Our sages tell us in the Talmud, a tractate that's called Kiddushin, Bein kach u bein kach atem kruyim bonim, that whether you're a good child or you're a bad child, so to speak, you're my child, you're my children. My wife and I have brought to the world 7 children. Sometimes it was 1 or 2 of our children that behaved in a bad way. But the children are not bad children. They're beautiful children. They're not bad children. Most of the time is they didn't understand that behavior was not appropriate. Once they understood, they were thrilled, they were happy. They wanted to be good. Anna, if you knew that and if I knew that, and we felt it in the deepest way, we'd want to do everything we could possibly do to make our Father happy. But because somewhere along the way, somehow, people get this idea that, if you don't do this, you're bad. And bad people go to a bad place. After this bad world, they go to a bad place, which is even worse than this world. And it's because of the bad publicity that God has that people give up. They give up being good. Everybody's good. Everybody's good. Ben kach u ben kach atem kruyim bonim. Whether you behave well or you misbehave, you're my child. God doesn't look at any one of us as being bad. The same way that I don't look at my kids or grandchildren as being bad. I can see them as being uninformed, mistaken, and I'm going to try to find ways, sometimes it will hurt, to find ways to help them encounter the good within themselves. So Anna means to beg. I beg of you. I beg you. Drop this thought of bad. Nobody's bad. Uninformed, misdirected, ignorant, sometimes immature, sometimes silly. But not bad. Not bad.
The rabbi is making a mistake. The student doesn't know what he's talking about, but the student likes it. Why? Because his mistake fits his agenda. And the Satan is dancing. Why? Everybody fell for the same trap. Everybody fell for the same trap. Abutai Karim, I always tell you, being skeptical is good. It's good. But as long as you're an honest skeptic, and not a skeptic for the sake of excuses. If you're a skeptic because you really want to find the truth, our entire Torah is built on that. The entire oral Torah is one Chacham after another questioning the other Chacham. Not because they don't believe each other, but they're putting the truth to the fire to see whether it's going to stand a test. Can it answer this? Can it answer this? Can it answer this? Can it answer this? If it can answer all of these different corners, halacha. If it could withstand the test, halacha. That's the law then. That's the truth. But if you cannot defend yourself against all of these different questions and there's contradictions and so on and so forth, then obviously there has to be a better answer. So the whole nature of Judaism and our entire oral Torah is skepticism for the sake of truth. It's good. But if you're skeptic without really chasing the truth, you just want to say, listen, the rabbis always argue, so therefore I'm allowed to argue. The rabbis have a lot of opinions, so therefore I'll throw my opinion in there also. Wait a minute. So if a bunch of doctors argued among themselves, surgery, 50 of them said surgery, one guy said no surgery, and it's you being the body. You say, you know what? I'm going to listen to that one guy. I'm going to completely discount 50 doctors, 50 world experts that are trying to save my life. I'm going to listen to this guy and see he says no surgery. I like him. I like the price also of no surgery. It's free. I like this guy. You're just going to discount the 50 just like that? Probably not. Why? Your life's on the line. 50 lawyers tell you, listen, you got to sue. You got to defend yourself. You got to go this. You got to use this witness. You got to do all these different things. One Joe Schmo just graduated high school says, hey, listen, sir, I don't know. If I was you, I wouldn't do nothing. I just continue, keep taking the government's money. Keep it. Yeah, but 50 people are saying I'm stealing from the government. Yeah, they're saying this. Who says they're right? I don't know. They just showed me the law. They showed me the proof in the Constitution and the law and the legal and the this and the that. They showed me everything. Yeah, but listen, it's a lot of ooze. You really think the government cares about you? You're such a puny person. They have a lot of bigger fish to fry. Listen to me. Don't do nothing. Keep making your money. You gonna listen to that guy? Or you gonna say, what are you, a joker? You're playing with my life? You want me to go to jail? What's the matter with you? What are you gonna say? You're gonna ignore 50 lawyers, 50 world experts trying to save your life, trying to save your assets, trying to save your business? Or you're gonna listen to some Joe Schmo because he's wearing a suit also. The reality is, when it comes to the doctor, to the lawyer, to the experts, you don't question. Why? They say you do. When it comes to the rabbis, and I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about Rambam, I'm talking about Chazon Ish, I'm talking about Rabbi Ovadia, Rabbi Elyashiv, Gdolei Olam, the giants of the world, the ones the whole world had a right to exist because of. They say something. You decide you're going to question it. Why? You want to be a rationalist. Because you think that you understand what it is. This is the Satan. This is the Yetzirah, and this is the Malach HaMavet, all in one. All in one. And it all stems from lack of bitachon. It all begins with lack of bitachon. Why lack of bitachon? If a person had as much bitachon, not in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but in his sages, in his system of delivering us the truth through his sages, as much confidence in them and in that system as we do in the medical system, in the legal system, in the school system, in the food administration. If we had even half the confidence in the Torah as we do in everything else, Mashiach would have already arrived, because we would all be tzaddikim.